Can you give a great speech, deliver a strong message, convincing arguments, and still have it be a complete waste of your time? Yes, and people do it constantly because they fail to call to action. Bill Hooped Up compared public speaking to dating when he said, how it finishes is how it went. Giving someone your message is like pouring water into their hands. It's going to run through their fingers and they'll have to let go of it eventually. Action is the vessel that allows them to hold on to your message. And in this video, we're going to talk about why a call to action is always important, what you can ask people to do, and how you can ask for it. Hi, my name is Rob Willis. I'm a public speaking coach. Make sure you click subscribe and turn on notifications for weekly videos about how you can improve your public speaking and presentation skills. And stick around till the end of today's video, when I'm going to be telling you how you can get a persuasive speech building template completely free to use in your presentations. In copywriting and marketing, they're always talking about CTAs, calls to action. They say that whatever form of communication you're using, newsletters, blog posts, social media, it needs to finish with a CTA. And public speaking is communication. So you also need to be finishing with that call to action, because action is memorable. In all likelihood, 10 minutes after your speech finishes, most of your audience will only remember 50% of what you've said. The next day, this will only be 25%. And a week later, 10%. But an action is something they can remember. If your action involves improving their life in some way, an instant win for them, then they're going to remember that positive feeling that they had, which they also associate with you, so that boosts your status as well. If your action involves them giving you their contact details, you can continue that conversation so they won't forget about you. And this is something I spoke about in my other video about talking at conferences, which I'm also going to be sure to link to so you can check that out too. But now you know that calls to actions are important and invaluable, what can you realistically ask someone to do? In Nancy Duart's book, Resonate, she talks about 4 kinds of audience. There are doers, suppliers, influencers, and innovators. Doers she calls the worker bees, who instigate action. Assemble, make decisions, gather, respond, or attempt. There are suppliers. These guys get resources, financial, human, or material. You need to ask them to acquire, fund, support, or provide resources for your project. There are influencers who can sway public opinion of individuals and groups. You want them to activate, convert, promote, and empower. And there are innovators. These are the guys who think originally to help develop your idea. Ask them to create, discover, invent, or pioneer. Whatever you ask your audience to do, just make sure it fulfills Florian Mueck's 3 S's. Firstly, that it is simple, something that they can all do, ideally at that moment. Secondly, it's specific, it's one action that everyone can do. And thirdly, symbolic. It ties into the greater purpose of your message, of your speech. Now there is one S I would actually add to this, and that is small. As small as possible. Because when you ask someone to do something, they're constantly going to be wondering, what's in it for me? What are the dangers? What's the loss I might encounter by following this event? If it's as small as possible, as small risk as possible, but moves towards a greater purpose, then after they've fulfilled that, you can get to the next stage. Consider it like a customer funnel in marketing. You get everyone in, you ask them to do a small thing, then you move to the next step and the next step and the next step before you get that deal or whatever you want your audience to do in the end. Now, of course, it's also essential that you use the right language in asking people to do things. So when you're looking at your call to action, make sure that first of all, it is direct and clear. Make sure it starts with a simple imperative command. Get, win, follow, reach, whatever. But that verb is not a so-called friction word, which would be buy, order, submit. Anything which makes the audience feel that they might lose something or give something away through taking this action. Because you might not realize this, but our brains are constantly working out what is the sum cost versus the benefits that might happen if I pursue a particular course of action. Now, to make it more powerful, you can take advantage of the fear of missing out or some urgency and really bring emotion so people feel that there's no choice but to follow that action and do what you say. Now, if you're finding this video helpful, please make sure you comment CTA in the comments below so I know that this is helpful for you guys. So where do you put your call to action in the speech? In our video on messaging, we spoke about U-shaped attention, how people are much more likely to pay attention to and remember stuff which is going to be at the beginning and at the end. And you can't put the call to action at the beginning because people's guards are up. They've not been convinced by your arguments as yet. You have to put it near the end. This is something agreed with by Monroe's 5 steps to a persuasive argument. He puts the call to action at the very end of the speech. I would say it should be towards the end, but not at the very end. Because when you ask someone to do something, their attention will be drawn away from you for a few moments in time. And you don't want to finish your speech like that. You want to finish your speech with a strong conclusion that restates your message and gives people a positive emotional feeling, not fumbling around with their phones at that one moment. So towards the end, but not at the very end, as I've shown you in the persuasive speech building template. If you're able to build an appealing call to action into all of your speeches, you'll be giving your message the best possible chance of surviving and ensure that your audience are moving that little bit closer towards the change that you want to make. If you want to get that speech building template, please just follow the link below and you'll be able to download it completely free. You can print it out and use it in as many speeches and presentations as you want. If you've enjoyed today's video, I'd be very grateful if you could go and give it a like. Please make sure you follow this channel and turn on notifications for weekly videos about public speaking and presentation skills.